Happy holidays and Merry Christmas. You're watching Drakewing Gaming. Oh, one moment. And enjoy the video. Hey guys, Nary here from Drakewing Gaming. So if you know me on Twitter, the Gaming Dragon. Today I'm coming at you with another Let's Play episode of Changeling Tale, Grace's Path. So the last place we left off was we were doing that big transformation dream scene with all the girls and Malcolm involved. And I'm curious as to how different this is compared to the not safe for work version. So let's jump right into that. Anyway, guys, sit back and enjoy the video. Thanks to you guys, we hit over 3,100 views in 2 days, so that's absolutely insane. But I love you guys. Share. I love sharing in the insanity with y'all. Anyway, guys, let's jump right into it, shall we? Let's start Alarm Chan. Okay, there we go. I'm still waiting on a link to the new build from the devs, so I'm still going to do Grace's Path until then. And next video should be Jesse's Path as we go into Chapter 4. Anyway, let's do it. Looks like you've changed too.
What does she mean by that? Am I understanding her words correctly? I try to respond, but my thoughts go cloudy. The room spins. I reach out for Marion, but my fingers close tightly together. Uh-oh. What on earth? I can't fathom what is happening to me. I fear the worst. My mind flashes back to the crippling nerve agents of the war. My knuckles and veins sting as if swarmed by hornets. My hands! I can't move them!
Oh, come now. You're gonna be fine, Malcolm.
Jessie's tone is stern. She has come back with a glass of something that is definitely not tea.
Here, something special I liberated from the pub. It'll help you through it.
She holds it to my mouth and I drink. The bitter liquid sears down my throat, lighting a fire deep in my chest. Meanwhile, Marion continues to stroke my bound fingers like a worried parent.
Uh-oh. The monkey's paw! Never mind.
Before my eyes, my fingers fuse together. I panic as they shrink and harden into dark, cloven hooves. A thin layer of brown fur develops around my wrists. What is this? What is going on?
Marion is right. You've changed, Malcolm. Now, no more questions.
Grace places a finger to my lips, then wraps a wool blanket around my shoulders. The wool feels itchy against my face, and I quickly realize that it's not the blanket on my cheeks, but slight twitches of my lips and jaw. I toss off the blanket and try to run my hand across my face, but the hoof awkwardly clips my lower jaw. My jaw juts out, cracking and lengthening. The tug is smooth as toffee being pulled. When it stops, it jolts my body, shaking me down through my neck and throat. Instinctively, I run my tongue along the inside of my cheek, and can feel blunt and narrow crescent ridges of enamel. Even my teeth are readjusting. The fire in my chest grows. My body at once shakes and expands, and my insides feel full of adrenaline. My pulse races. I cry for help, but only a strangled bleat comes out.
Shh, stay calm, Malcolm. Breathe deeply.
Marion tries to pacify me, putting her hand upon my muzzle and stroking my head. I feel a drum is beating slowly inside, then more steadily and painfully. My ears become more erect and start increasing in size. The hair on my head falls out in clumps, replaced by more fur. Small bones pierce through my scalp as antlers form atop my skull.
Dear man!
The soft and bristly nubs continue to grow and extend as her hand moves along the fur. The antlers forcefully tear out and shed their furry covering, as I bleat in terror. The hard rack will stand 2 full feet above my body height. I push Marion away and jump back, realizing too late the true significance of her attentions. She looks hurt.
I'm sorry. We should never have gotten so close, Malcolm. Don't apologize. Malcolm only has himself to blame.
Jessie has stepped up from behind me. She places a hand on my chest, causing the fire inside to erupt into a blaze. Immediately my shirt tightens around my ribcage, and the buttons pop, exposing a fuller, broader chest with a large coat of fur. My balance becomes unsteady. All the skin below my stomach pulsates as my legs grow longer and more muscular, the calves and thighs widening enough to rip through my trousers. I fumble with my hooves to remove my belt, gagging as my torso builds out. Jessie watches my struggle, biting her lip.
Let me take care of that for you.
Helpless, I let Jessie work the clasp. My body continues to expand, ripping my shirt sleeves completely open. All the while, more brown fur spreads along every inch of my body. At last, the belt comes free, and my pants fall to the floor. I gasp deeply, able to breathe once more, but the relief is short-lived. I wobble on my feet, exposed, feeling humiliated, vulnerable, and defiant.
Don't worry, Malcolm. You're at the tail end of this.
She steps up, looking like she might offer a hand to help my balance. Instead, she gives me a hearty slap on the rump.
It's a tail!
From the point of impact, a sharp puncture blows through the back of my underclothes, and a white tail protrudes from the waistband. The surprise makes me jump and hobble across the room.
Malcolm, be careful. Don't get too close to the fire.
It takes an effort for her words to register. I stumble away from the fireplace, tongue lolling in a panic amplified by an unfamiliar animal urge to run for the hills. Am I losing my mind? A painful impact to my foot causes me to trip, sending me crashing to my knees. To my horror, even my feet are shifting. With two audible ruptures, hooves blow out through the leather shoes. My shoulders collapse inward, and I fall forward onto all fours. I try to stand, flailing, and my hind legs buck near the kitchen table.
Serves you right. And now maybe you'll find other lasses to fawn over.
Jessie groans, but Grace's taunt still cuts me to the core. What have I become? I try and speak, but I've lost my voice. I feel helpless, trapped inside my own mind. Am I going mad? I buck again. Oh. Marion, at least, looks woeful yet supportive. I stand motionless in my new deer form until Marion comes face to face with me, cradling my new jaw and looking me in the eyes.
I'm sorry, Malcolm. You have to stay away. Stop asking why. Let's see. Which for you'll no go past ye. Which for you'll no go past ye.
The girl's faces are frozen in my mind as I am jolted out of the nightmare. I wake up on the ground, trembling, covered in cold night sweat. My head aches from where it impacted the floor. My hands shake as I reach for my head, relieved to find that my skull is intact, and there are no antlers or hooves. Marion's words from the dream reverberate in my mind. Which for you'll no go past ye. It means whatever is meant to happen to ye will happen to you. We heard it many a time from Miss Alana before any of us received any punishment for misbehaving. I don't know if you guys are going to hear that one of my cats is meowing. Spare the rod and spoil the child. Never question the teacher.
Coffee time! Oh my god, ain't nothing like that. Ooh, man, that just ain't nothing. Ain't nothing like that double espresso cold brew. Oof.
I can't get back to sleep no matter how many times I roll over. Instead, I wake early and scrub my body over and over, trying to scour away the memory of the nightmare. More bristles tear away the entire top layer of my skin, and the burning sensation feels like a rebirth. Only after a third rinse of my face do I dare head back inside. I keep pinching my leg to assure my brain that I am awake, and not still trapped in dreamland. In the living area, Gran stands at the stove, and I revisit the dream.
Malcolm, good morning. Did you sleep well?
No, actually, Gran, I didn't.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Nightmares?
I'm afraid so. Gran sets tea and sugar down on the table, sits across from me and takes my hand into hers.
Malcolm, the worst is over. Don't let your heavy heart weigh you down. If I'd let that happen, I'd have left this earth right after your granddad. But there's still too much to live for.
Gran, I appreciate hearing that.
Even if it's not what you want, it's what you get. And you learn to want it.
Thank you.
What is it?
I have a funny question.
Go ahead. Probably nothing stranger than I've heard on a Sunday morning in the pews.
Well then. I decide to be blunt. Have you heard any strange rumors about the MacLeod family? Anything that would make you stay away? Gran doesn't even blink.
Never!
Really?
Listen, my boy, I'll be clear with you. A few people were fussing about when the girl's mother passed away years back. They had heard Owen may have taken a liking to another woman in town. I couldn't tell you who, and he perhaps was not the most doting father to those lovely young women. But no doubts have I ever raised about... No doubt... Blah, what is my mouth doing? No doubts have I ever raised about the kindness of that family.
A relief washes over me, cleansing me stronger than any soap or bristles could. Gran's assurance has that power. That makes me happy to hear.
Why in the world would you ask me that?
Just idle chatter, Gran. You know those rumor mills.
They never stop churning.
I eat quickly, barely chewing my eggs, bid my grandmother a good day and get to work. Atop the stable's roof, the air, sun, and bracing wind cleanse my spirit. Such a pretty game. The sun winds through the sky as I diligently patch the holes. One by one, I lose myself to the blessed haze of simple manual labor. By noon, I have to remind myself to take a break. I don't want a repeat of yesterday's marathon triggering another night of frightful sleep. Stepping cautiously down from the roof, I take one ladder rung at a time. Then I address my options for the afternoon, fully aware that every decision I make in my life is now completely up to me. Take Guzzle for a ride to clear my mind. After waking with such a strange pit in my stomach, I found that the day's work has done little to dissolve it. I pour myself a whiskey and eat nearly a loaf of sourdough, then gather my courage to face little Miss Hazel. Good news, my faithful steed. Your stable is officially watertight and hole-free again. No more moonbeams keeping you awake at night. It's one of my cat's names is Moonbeam. Her glare doesn't exactly exude enthusiasm. How ungracious. Well, my dear, I thought perhaps we might celebrate the occasion with a short stroll out to the waterfront. Did you have any opinion on that? Hazel shakes her fuzzy head, braying as she swivels to and fro. I offer her a bunch of dirty carrots, which she huffs at, then reluctantly munches out of my hand. Etta girl, now how about we settle up and head out for some fresh air? Yep, Hazel's got that fiery spirit. Hazel's pace is slow and meandering, but I tolerate it in spite of my eagerness to reach the special spot along the water's edge. Grandad would take me there as a kid, where he'd spin stories of seafarers and monsters and highland tales of all colours. It holds a special place in my heart, and not just for the commanding view. There's just something about the sky reflecting off the water, being able to see nothing and everything at all at once. It's a tried and true way to rest the mind, the body, and soul. The afternoon sun is strong, like a stiff drink. It's hard to see the horizon as I'm blinded by the shine. Just being out alone in the open is so relaxing. Having the freedom to explore the countryside, to be back home, to be alive and in one piece, is at once startling and humbling. I can finally go anywhere I want, when I want. The notion is overwhelming. My eyes well up, and my throat closes. Ah, Hazel, Mother Earth has gotten to me. She's blessed me more than I deserve. I pat Hazel's shoulder and she takes off in a harder trot. My gratitude is motivating you, eh? I tell you, I was saved. I don't know how or why, but I have to accept it. Cherish the gift as it was given. Why don't you remind me of this if you ever see me down again, dear girl? She accepts my words into her confidence. I run my hand through her knotted mane, and we continue closer to the loch, enjoying the quiet sounds of nature.
Gonna get a view of Nessie. I mean, Grace. Totally not Nessie.
My nose catches a deep piscine scent wafting up the coast. The wind carries a salt mist through which I glimpse something in the water. It drifts idly along with the currents, then bulbs under. A seal, perhaps. The odd sea creature is known to swim up into the loch now and again. I still remember the excitement when a whale managed its way right up to the town docks when I was a kid. What a sight it was! Whenever it is, resurfaces a few yards closer and starts swimming the breaststroke. My jaw drops as it dawns on me that she is not a sea creature at all. Is that really Grace? My, it must be freezing cold in there. Did she take the plunge by choice?
Kitty, what is wrong with you?
She stands up in the shallows, and the blonde hair brushing her shoulders is unmistakable. I start to call out to her when my senses suddenly register an important detail. She doesn't appear to be wearing a bathing suit. My cheeks instantly flush. Her bare back still faces me as Hazel brings me closer to the shore. I don't want Grace to think I'm spying or being invasive, so I try to halt my horse. Of course, Hazel fights back. We amble closer and I find myself unable to look away. She brushes at the water with her palms, making idle patterns out of the ripples, teasing the surface with small, gentle motions. Each caress twists her body just a little more away until I can see. Step out of it, man! I finally have to yank the reins to lead Hazel off the shore. That was too close. For good measure, I dismount and we walk side by side along the water, trying to avoid Grace spotting us.
Ahoy, Malcolm!
Oh no. Don't turn around, Hazel bristles. Naturally, she refuses to budge. That's a beautiful view.
I see you there, Malcolm.
From the sound of it, Grace is swiftly walking up the beach. Despite every contrary sensation in my being, I sincerely hope she is fully dressed by now. I turn to face her.
Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs. Yep, okay.
Ah, Grace! Fortunately, she is clothed. She faces me, smiling and soaked, and I smile back, if slightly frozen, experiencing a new type of shell shock. I try to cover my tracks by acting more surprised. How did you spot me from so far away?
Ha! I didn't see you. It was dear Hazel who caught my eye.
She's a memorable lass.
Feisty and hot-tempered too, as I recall.
Those qualities do indeed describe my Hazel. Hazel brushes against Grace favorably. Grace looks up at me with a devilish smirk.
Did you see anything? It's alright. It's alright if you did. I'm not embarrassed. Mind, my sisters would be mortified, but I really can't be bothered about what people think of me.
I swear,
It doesn't matter. I was swimming, that's all.
Weren't you freezing cold?
No, not at all.
Must be cold-blooded then.
I've been called worse.
Her retort has me fumbling for words and glowing from ear to ear as I try to rally. Are you headed home? Do you need a ride back? I'll bet Miss Hazel wouldn't mind a bit. She seems to be taking a liking to you.
Thank you, but I was planning to take a walk along the loch while I dry off. I can never get enough time outside.
Yeah, let's do it. Do you mind if we join you? I've been enjoying my time in the spring air this afternoon. Grace hesitates. I hope I've not overstepped. As confident as she appears, I can tell that she's unused to sharing her personal space. She doesn't want me to tag along. I can't take it personally.
Join me, if you wish. I haven't shared the sun with someone for a long time. It's so rare that my sisters will join me for these outdoor getaways.
I don't imagine you inviting them along.
I used to. They never seem to enjoy it as much as I do. Marion is too much of a worker bee. She considers this idle time outside a mere frivolity. I believe I require to stay sane.
I feel you there, sister.
And Jessie. Jessie is always in too much of a rush. Always worried the daylight will ruin her complexion as well. You would think she is nocturnal. Neither of my sisters can soak in the sunshine and fresh air and simply appreciate it for what it is. It's unfortunate for them. Sad, really.
I would agree with you. Fresh air is good for anyone.
My life isn't meant to be spent holed up inside. I can tell you that.
It sounds as though she definitely speaks from experience.
I've spent my fair share of time shuffling around inside the house, broom in hand, cleaning and cooking, mopping and chopping, I call it. But this is where I'd rather be.
Grace tosses her arms up to the sky, swaying a bit back and forth, then reaches down for the hem of her dress, attempting to wring it dry. She chuckles as a stream of water trickles onto the grass.
Well, maybe the sun will dry me out a bit. What do you think?
I imagine the sun will try her best.
I'm glad we live in such a bonny country, in such a serene spot.
We have an undeniably beautiful homeland.
I love how the fact you have a freaking castle on the hillside.
We walk closely, and I do my best not to sneak my glances at her still damp dress. Hazel bucks in my grasp a few times, but Grace is there to calm her and offer her words of wisdom.
Oh. Alright guys, I'm going to end it there. Thank you so much for watching. Oh, we are getting closer to the big reveal. Oh, I'm looking forward to that. I'll definitely be looking forward to that on my not safe for work private playthrough. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and ring that notification bell to the next video. I love you all. I'll see you next time. Let's save it right here, right along the shore. Alright, bye-bye!